this is my first Native American flute build. I used a large piece of bamboo that I had, and pretty rough start, but you know, I don't have the precision tools yet to do a good job in solid woods, so I thought I'd go ahead and try it out of a large piece of bamboo here. This is Osage orange, and I used a solid piece of pine and carved a mouthpiece out for it. It's kind of breathy. I was able to get it to tune up nicely though. It's in 432, which means it's 8 hertz lower than standard concert pitch, and I'll go through it here. It's in D. So kind of cool. Got a long way to go. I look forward to really making these things. They're just so wonderful. Just the sounds that you get out of them are amazing. It's got about a 1-inch bore, and I put I made a handle on a chisel here to make it super long, so I could get in here and knock out the growth ring in the section here. It proved a little tricky because it was pretty tenacious, so when I was carving out the holes, I was having a hard time bringing it into intonation, and what I realized is there was still a big wall here of material that I had to reach in and try to carve out. So obviously if I start with a pristine stock of wood and I can router it out and make the bore precise, you know, that's going to enhance the tuning. I learned some things on this, even as crudely as it's put together. First of all, what I did was I made the flute and I made this section, and there was no holes in it. So I was able to blow a fundamental tone and cut it off till I was close lengthwise to D. Then I started drilling the holes, and had them kind of approximated, and then slowly worked each one into tune. It took several times to do this. Also, here where you do your carving, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a nest here. Some people inlet the fetish here with like a 1mm trough to allow the air to pass up over from the slow air chamber through the stop that's here into the main body of the flute. On this one, I used a 1mm piece of maple that I carved and then cut a slot in. So that's what they call a nest. So this sits up above the main body of the flute, and there's a very small air chamber that comes in and cuts the fipple here, this little 45-degree notch, and you know, part of the air is ejected this way and part of the air goes through the body of the flute. So it's pretty interesting. I've got a lot more to learn, but you know, it's a decent start, I guess. At least it actually plays. But anyway, yeah, cutting the instrument off, and then also trying to reduce the breathiness of the flute by shortening this air chamber here. I had it really long, so I was able to cut more off. That doesn't affect the intonation of the flute when you cut off above this true sound hole here, what they call the true sound hole. Just this part from the true sound hole to the end is the business end. That's what's creating your tone, at least as far as getting it into intonation-wise and stuff like that. So then what you do is once you get your fundamental, you know, you blow it and you watch the electrical tuner, and then you can carve out these holes. Obviously, if you have a piece of stock that you can machine precisely, you'll know the exact depth of each hole, because this will be equal thickness all the way through. With organic materials like this, even though it's close, it's not exact, you know. And you know, the Indians would make these out of cane, and they would use just their hands, and then maybe 2 fingers like this is how they kind of did it. So nothing was precise, and that's how I did one when I was a kid, and it sounds really sweet. I don't know. I guess I just got lucky with it, and it's a very old piece of bamboo too that came from Vietnam. My brother brought it home, so it's, you know, 40, 50 years old. But anyway, so Native American flute in D, 432 hertz, so it's 8 hertz below standard concert pitch, which there's a lot of information on 432 hertz on the internet if you wanted to investigate it. It's pretty cool. And I've always been attracted to lower tunings. I just I'm really not into standardized tunings at all. That's why I think I just fell in love with Leo Kaki so much, just because of the sounds that he gets out of that 12 string. You know, it's just amazing. But anyway, something cool, something new, another instrument. I've made woodwinds before, primarily didgeridoos, which are not, they have no holes in them. They're just a solid piece of tubing that you put beeswax on the end to get a seal, and then you blow through to create kind of a hypnotic effect. So here we go, another instrument building path. Very cool. I can also overblow it to get a high D, but it's a little sensitive, so, you know, need to work on that. Thanks for watching.